Welcome to my shop. My name is Steve, and in this video I'm going to cover cutting the grooves for the fitted lid box. If you have not watched the fitted lid box video, I suggest watching that first. Otherwise, what we're going to cover in this video isn't going to make a whole lot of sense. So let's get over to the workbench. Okay, this is the completed fitted lid box. The lid is comprised of two rabbets that start out as grooves, and we trim this and mill this down to where we get an inside rabbet on the lid and an outside rabbet on the base. And the positioning of these grooves and the depth of these grooves is important to achieving a nice friction fit lid. So I'm going to move this off to the side, and I'm going to take an extra piece that I had and describe what we're doing. This will become the inside of the box. I've got three grooves. One for the bottom, and this is 4 millimeters wide. One for the top that's 2.4 millimeters wide. Two grooves. This inside groove here is 5 millimeters wide, and it goes slightly less than half the thickness of the material. This groove will become the inside rebate on the lid, or inside rabbet on the lid. The outside face of the box has one groove. It has the same dimensions and depth as the inside, and will become the rabbet on the base of the box. The position of the two grooves, the separation between them, or the offset, however you want to view it, is the width of the kerf of the saw blade that I will use to separate the lid from the base. And I'm going to do a two-step process. I'm actually going to do a video on it, but I'll discuss it briefly here. And what I'm going to want to do is take from the outside of the box, I'm going to take out that section of wood with the saw kerf, and I'm going to get it just close enough to here to where the lid is still retained to the base. Then I'll take it to the bench and with a utility knife, and I will cut into the lid to separate the lid from the base. Then I will take the base back to the saw and then remove the remaining piece before I go to the sander. The cutters that I used, I better get my gloves on. You can use any number of cutters, whatever you have available in your shop. I used an adjustable groover with a shaper. This is pretty much the equivalent of a dado set that you would use on a table saw. But instead of using chippers between the two outer plates, you use shims to adjust the width. The minimum width of cut that I can get with this adjustable groover is 4 millimeters. I actually have a video on this on adjustable groovers, and I'll provide a link to that in the description. But the adjustable groover has spur cutters and clearing cutters, and it provides for a nice clean cut similar to what you would get with a dado blade. For 4 millimeter, I'll use this with no shims. When I want to mill the groove, the 5 millimeter grooves, I'll just install the 1 millimeter shim, assemble it on the shaper, and then mill the other grooves. The other cutter that I use on the router table, this is a slot cutter. It has a slot width of 2.4 millimeters, and I don't remember what the imperial equivalent is, but it's fairly thin, but it's not the thinnest they make. The disadvantage to using this type of cutter is that because the shank has to be inserted in your collet nut so far, your height adjustment ability is minimal. But I was able to easily get this groove in that position. So that's a description of why I put the grooves where I did, the depth of the groove, and the cutters that I used. So use what equipment you have in your shop to make a fitted lid box, and I think you'll be just fine. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll catch you in the next video, and I'll cover another aspect of this box build in more detail. Thanks for watching.